G'day guys, it's Crypto Trader Vader here, doing another Poloniex Trading Journal live technical analysis on all the coins that you see on the left of your screen here. And as I go through and analyze each of these coins, I'll be sure to change the color from yellow to green so that you can scrub through the video and get to your favorite coin if you want to. I'll also be paying attention to the chat if anyone wants to jump in there and throw me a coin that want me to analyze, or just want to say hey, or just want to chat about cryptos. I'm happy to do that. And be sure to leave a comment and jump on board the subscribe train if you haven't already, and so you can stay in touch with me and my journeys here. So let's have a look. Got Poloniex open, and we're starting at the top like usual with ADA. And I'm going to move my seat over a little bit. And I'm just going to squeeze this in slightly here so you can see the sats. There we go. Cool. So let's have a look at ADA, and we're in the 1 hour candle, so I'm just going to change it to 4 hour real quick so we can have a quick squiz at that timeline. So why are we looking at BCH? I don't want to do that. Going to ADA, okay. So with a lot of altcoins, if you've been following these trading journals for a while, we kind of, you know, as this market was turning around kind of in this area, I thought, well shit, maybe that's the turnaround that we're looking for, and it wasn't, and I probably said the same thing around that point. But then of course, during this bowl formation, we realized that, hang on a second, this might actually be the turnaround. And of course, what we witnessed is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We had some other smaller 1, 2, 3 bottom formations that you can see drawn out on this chart here. And ultimately, what this is doing is it's forming the larger 1, 2, 3. Just going to get rid of a couple of these cheeky lines here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But essentially, we've got a bottom way down here, 1, 2, 3. It's come back here, and now we can see that ADA is really at breaking point. It's about to break out, and I think a lot of altcoins, a lot of them are very much in the same situation right now. You've seen the previous huge highs, and this, what I love about this is this wasn't at a time when Bitcoin was super cheap. This was a time when Bitcoin was at its peak. ADA was still 1400 sats, and now it's 4000. There is a huge opportunity, I think, in altcoins at the moment, and I think a lot of these are going to continue to go up, at least for the next month or so. And of course, I'll be looking for the top formations after a while. So it almost happened here, where we saw this 1, 2, 3 top. We see that line, but it did not breach this 2 line. It bounced off of it, so we would have never sold. And given the velocity of the markets at the moment as well, I don't think I would have, even if it dipped slightly beneath that. But the point is that a lot of alts are making this same formation. So with ADA, what did I say last week? Generally bullish until next week. Well, that was pretty much correct. I think I said that for quite a few coins, and a lot of them, I think, have kind of followed that trend. Hey, thanks for joining, couple watchers. Cheers for checking in. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Bitcoin Cash, Bcash, or Bitcoin Cash, as they prefer to be called. So what have I drawn up here? Well, the market's kind of started to turn around for, as I said, a lot of altcoins, and Bitcoin Cash is no exception. It's the block increased alternative to Bitcoin, and it's really getting up to this same level. So really, I'd like to see Bitcoin Cash breach that 16.9, greater than 0.16, oops, 16.9, for a bull run before it really starts to take off. ADA, I forgot to put something in there, so just quickly flick back to ADA. Wow, it's really jumped. I'd say it's across that line now, and it's coming back to touch it, to rest on it. So ADA is just about to take off, I think. And generally, bullish until next week on that one. I'm going to put an asterisk next to that because I do want to check that chart out. Yeah, Alfie, man, it's time, dude. I think it's time to get the altcoin folio filled up with purchases and yeah, really plan for big sells. So place your sell orders that are hugely above the market. So you might be, you know, if you're buying ADA and you're thinking that it could potentially return to previous highs, you might buy a block of ADA here. Hopefully you've already bought some previously, or if you think this one's going up in particular, you might want to add to your position kind of now, and then you can start placing a couple of sell orders. Maybe one just beneath this level of support, maybe another one beneath this kind of level here, and of course, you know, really pie in the sky kind of huge 12,000 sats levels, which is essentially tripling or quadrupling your money, and placing sell orders at these kind of levels, these previous points of resistance, so that we're ready to bail out as soon as those markets do pump up. And it can happen over the course of a couple of hours, and we saw it, and we'll see it in the decreed market, because I know that that's gone up substantially. It's yeah, it's a good time for alts, although I mean nothing's guaranteed, of course, so don't bet the bank. Always use risk management tools. Black coin, let's go. Very similar formation, big crush down, and then more recently the 1 2 3 bottom formation, the breakout above that, and now it's come back to rest and starting to take off. Now of course the previous resistance markers are kind of around this point, so really 3,700 or so. Look at that, I said that last week, and I'll copy paste that across because that's going to be the exact same. So one thing I said about, oh shoot, I'm not making these green, I'm sorry about that. Let's make them green. Let's move on to BitShares. Take profits and top up your Bitcoin. Yeah, man. It's profit is profit. Obviously, if you're trading full time, you know, in forex markets or something else, you want to be maximizing exactly where you put those profits up and kind of using indicators to pick those profits. And there's kind of no exception here. You want to be, you know, selling when the 12-hour bar exponential moving average is starting to cross over, which is after the peak. So as an example, if you're buying BitShares way down here when the EMA is crossing over, you're selling it like over here, which is not as big a profit, right? But it's still a much more guaranteed profit than trying to pick the top, because you might have picked the top back here, you might have picked it back here, you might have picked it back here, and it might have gone way higher. So it's rather than try and pick the top with your gut, you want to use a couple of indicators and of course risk management strategies to minimize possibly missing out on potential gains, but at the same time locking in some potential gains. BitShares. Whoa, BitShares is just flying off the handle. So that's already now broken through that previous. So probably last week or the week before, we had alts kind of take a breather, had, you know, took a breath, just chilled out for a second. The altcoin markets did decline a little bit for that week. And of course, now we've noticed that they're starting to move up. And you can see in something like ADA, the exact same pattern as we see in BitShares, where we see the price has here around about end of April, kind of the final couple of weeks of April here, it's taken a breather, it's come back down, and now it's riding back up, and it's really touching this line. So as it breaks out here, of course, there's a new paradigm of prices, and that means that you can look left to see previous resistance points to find out where to sell. But when I say that, a lot of alts are making this exact same kind of pattern. However, there are, of course, some altcoins that tend to blaze the trail, and those are the ones you want to be looking out for, and obviously ideally you want to be catching those, but they're an indication of what other coins are going to be doing. Not all of them, of course, there's going to be exceptions to that, but there are, of course, some trailblazers, and those trailblazers I don't know. I feel like they're coins that are, I mean, obviously, market-wise, they're very much more in demand. But I think that coins that are blazing the trail with respect to, breaking out of these patterns that all altcoins are following, they're the ones you've got to keep an eye on even more closely. BitShares is, of course, no exception to that. So, big breakout recently, and now it's just kind of setting up, it's just chilling out for a second before possibly a higher move. And if I was in BitShares, I would be, well, there's the resistance point here, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times now. It'll probably do something like that, where it'll chill and then eventually break through, and that's when you want to be looking at kind of these points. Keeping an eye on these points, you might think, hang on, that might be the turnaround point, that's where I'm going to take my profits. But if you're risk averse like me, you'll take some profits there, but you'll keep a handful of them for potentially higher moves. Up here we're talking crazy high moves. So that's the BitShares 101. What's going to happen with BitShares? Well, I said last week 3155, anything above 3155, and we've got a bull run. You see how it touched it twice here? This 3155 line that I've drawn here. I'm going to make it pink so y'all know. That one there, right, touched it twice. Came back up, touched it again. Came back down, and then blasted through like a rocket. Bull run. Generally bullish on that one until next week. Let's move on to clam coins. And clam again making that same pattern, and even another kind of a trailblazer in a way. We've had this move up like all alts have, well most of the alts have, a bit of a pullback here, and Clamcoin has already broken through that and is now coming to rest on it, ready for another move. That one is another big one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Generally bullish until next week. BTS as well. Far out, so many coins I want to buy at the moment. They're very making very good formations. Civic, last week I said anything over 4,500 equals a bull run, and right here, this is that line that I drew. Same thing, make it pink so you can see. Boom, it's touched it, it's kind of gone through, it's even broken through it a couple of times, and then fake out, breakout, come back down. And then of course, rocketed through. And now, where will it stop? Well, probably up here somewhere. It feels weird having those lines pink, I've got to take them back to yellow. Yeah, so another one that is going to be, looks like it's blasting up very quickly. Man, look at that, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. That's how it starts, baby, and then it breaks through, comes back down to rest on it. These are if you've been following this for a while, this is exactly the same pattern that we expected to happen. Break 1, 2, 3 bottom, break through, come to rest on it. Come to rest on it right there. Then take off from that point. It needs a landing spot, it needs to chill for a sec. It needs to take off. Hitting this a couple of times, right? Now it's blasted out. So what it might do, if it's going to follow the same kind of pattern, is come back down to kind of rest on it and then take off. It needs to chill for a sec, right? But we don't know where the chill area is. Like, where is it going to just take a breather? It could pop up. It could like pop up to here. Sorry, I cut that off. Could like pop way up above that support and chill on that one. So we don't know. So if you want to enter, if you're looking to like enter Civic, it's a hard call. You know, I don't like to enter the markets if they're already taking off like this. It's because it's so hard. But at the same time, of course, there's the fear of missing out. You don't want to be trading on that sort of emotion. That's why I don't do it. I try and pick these find these bottoms, and now I'm very much have all of my trading budget allocated. Essentially, all of my trading budget is allocated. So while I'm still looking for opportunities, I can chill. While the markets blow up, and then I'll start, really start looking for bottom or top formations now. All right, let's move on anyway. Dash, that one, Civic, definitely generally bullish until next week on that as well. Dash coin now. Let's make it green. Move on. So, similar situation. Dash is a little bit slower than a lot of alts to kind of turn around. You can see here that it really only bottomed out in start of, well, I guess the timing's relatively similar, but it seems a little later. So it has taken off and come down to kind of chill for a second. Let's get this line out of here. And now, of course, probably going to be setting up to take off higher again, just given the velocity of the money at the moment. I've been using that word a lot lately. Velocity. So what's going to happen? Well, really, I mean, with Dash, we need to see it break this point, right? Because it's touched this once before here. It's touched it again here. So it really needs to get above this 0.056 kind of area. 0056 equals bull run, and then we can watch Dash kind of take off a little higher. So I was saying before that with Decreed we're able to see an example of a market that's absolutely blasted up to previous highs, and this is exactly why when you're buying at these sort of levels, these low levels, you immediately sell, or you immediately place some hugely high sell orders at these previous resistance points. 1, 2, 3 touches, and of course 4. Even might have had some other sell orders placed at this level here. So you might have had 2 of your popcorn sell orders. As the price pops up, they sell those popcorn sell orders. And then, of course, as the price comes back down, you can rebuy in with a bigger bag. I've got a lot of lines on this graph here. I'm sorry about that. It's very busy. I'm still in the 12-hour candle on this one, so let's switch that back up to the 4. So, Decreed 1, 2, 3 bottom, flipped up, rested here, had an absolutely huge going out of business sale. Kind of the opposite, really. Had like a Black Friday sale where the masses trampled everybody to get the Decreed, and now it's just chilling. It's just chilling underneath this previous resistance point. So really, ideally, we want to see that breakout and kind of rest, or at least get some support around that level, and that would be the 948. Yeah, here we go. Said it last time. Don't need to say it again. Same thing. It needs to get above 950k sats or so. Dogecoin. Doge. And there it goes. Same situation. I just love looking. I love going back and looking at the daily charts of Doge, because it's incredible. Continuous spikes that run up very quickly. Boom. And now we get the craziness. So if you wanna get really bullish on altcoins this season, you can look at a lot of altcoins with this recent run up being the 1, 2, 3 of a very large 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. In which case, of course, it means that the price of these sort of coins can go ridiculous. All-time highs, we're talking. Of course, I'm not necessarily that bullish, but I do like to sometimes entertain that idea. I'll delete these 1, 2, 3s because I don't want to give people pie in the sky promises, because that definitely, well, most probably not going to happen. However, you know, if you're buying in at kind of this level, 60 sats or so, you can kind of place sell orders around these levels. 112 sats, it's where pretty much I sold last time, I think, in this previous run up back here. And we're looking at the daily candle, remember, so this is going back to kind of January when I sold out of Doge. I think I sold out about 105 sats, so I was pretty good near the top. And of course now is the opportunity to buy back in with this 1, 2, 3 bottom forming. Really needs to break out above kind of 70 sats to get there. 70 sats equals a bull run. Very good. Alrighty, let's have a look at ETH. So Ethereum has been kind of trading up and up and up, and I love it because I did buy. This is one of the coins that I definitely did buy. In my video series where I have taken 0.2 Bitcoin and I'm trying to turn it into 1 Bitcoin, I will be providing an update on that shortly. But my balance is obviously improved. It started at 0.2, and over some of the trading that I've been doing, I've managed to build that up to about 0.28, I think, 0.27, around that area. And ETH is definitely one of them. Excuse me. I bought about here, I think, as it took off above this 1, 2, 3, and then I added to that position as it blasted through that again. A lot of people were scared off by this huge sell candle, but I didn't see it on any other exchanges, so it just made me think there was one particular holder that was selling. So Ethereum now is kind of, you know, plotted along, encountered some resistance kind of at this point here, and now of course it's blasted through. Let's have a look at where I think it's gonna stop, because I'm holding some and I do want to sell it at a reasonable time. So one of the places that I'll be selling it is kind of at these points. So as this price encounters this downward trend line, I'll be placing some sell orders, and that's around about 0.093, just kind of around maybe this area. It may take a couple more days to get there. 0.093, or it might just blast up in the course of today, because it does seem to be going very, very fast. We'll switch back to 4-hour candles, sorry about that. So I'm just going to flick it to 12 because I need that line back in place. Where'd the line go? I swear I drew that in. Yeah, somewhere there. So of course it's a game of approximation, but somewhere in this vicinity, hopefully, as the price comes up around this area, 0.094, 0.095, kind of that point. That's where I'll be placing some sell orders, I think, with Ethereum. And of course I'll be looking to, as the price comes down off of that, either re-enter or at least holding a smaller portion. And I've got some long-term holdings for Ethereum as well, that of course, so that I'm hoping the price will go even higher than that, but I feel as though it'll probably encounter some resistance at that point. If it's not strong resistance, it'll probably just rest on it, chill for a sec, and then take off through it. But if it's strong resistance, the price might actually come back down a little bit into the mid-8s, at which point I'll try and grab a couple more. So, bullish until 9.3 or so, around that area. Alright, Expanse coin now. Still in a 12-hour candle, so let's flip that up to the 4 hours and get a little more zoomed in here. Big kind of 1, 2, 3 bottom formations here, broke out, came to rest, chilled, and now it's kind of come back a little lower. Still resting really on one of these 2 lines back here, so found some support there. See how I was talking before about, like, there's some coins that are a bit trailblazing and they go a lot faster, like BitShares, or I can't think of another example, maybe Civic as another example. They're kind of blazing the trail. They're going up a lot faster than other coins. And coins like Expanse, just chilling. They're going up still with the market, but they are chilling a little more. It makes me think, well, maybe longer term they're not as good a hold because they're not, accelerating that growth. That said, nothing's really changed since last week with Expanse. 28k sats for a bull run. That's kind of what it needs. Factum now. So Factum 1, 2, 3 broke out above, chilling. Still chilling quite low on this. I mean, it's not a coin that I would be buying at the moment. I'd probably be waiting on this one until it at least shows some power and velocity to come up to this 365k sats or so. And if it can kind of get above the 365k, we might have a bit more of a bull move on that one. Folding coin. Hey, Alf, tell me, chuck in the chat how everything's been going for you, because I know you've had a couple of trades there, including Ethereum that you were messaging me about. How are you going, man? How's it all going? What are you looking at the moment? Where are you thinking about taking profits? Tell me, man, what's going on? Folding coin. See, this one I like because it's really crushing up to this point again, 263 sats. Nothing's changed since last week, but I think it's getting a bit closer to that. And even internally, you can see 1, 2, 3 kind of starting to take off. So it really needs a little bit more of a push to get there. Let's move on to game credits. Alrighty. Big spikes here. See these volume spikes? Boom, 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 boom. Big green candles. Now that is what Doug would call... Doug is the mentor that I learnt trading from. He would look at that and say that is pre-pump patterns. And you can check out his videos. His YouTube channel is Lumbridge City. I think I linked to it in the bottom. He's got a great video out at the moment looking at the pre-pump patterns of some of these coins. And this one here, that's big green spikes. That's a pre-pump pattern. So it looks like the smart money is buying up in bulk. It knows that game credits is doing something. Look at the, wow. So there's a fly. Wow, look at that. Just in the history of all of this, it's never had this much volume. Far out. I'm going to get more game credit, man. Yeah, that looks great. I'll put in there generally bullish until next week because I'm going to buy some more of that. So I just like to put an asterisk next to the ones next to the coins that I'm going to be checking out later. Oh, hey Alf, you've just replied. Looking at SIA, a large maxis here. Yeah, sweet. Well, Alf, this is the thing. You've bought at 220 sats. We're talking about SIA coin. So I'm just going to jump. Just going to jump ahead to SIA for a sec, just to take a quick look, and then I'll come back and finish everything else. But this is exactly why we need to set the sell orders to popcorn levels. Right now, you should have already a sell order set with SIA coin for me, it would be 389 sats, 388 sats. Have like some of your bag selling at that point, because you don't know. You go to sleep at night, and that bad boy is going to pop up just like it did here. Look at this move. Look at this huge move here. That was over the course of what, like 1 day? What if you're not watching the charts, right? You don't know when to sell. If I take this arrow and I move this up from where it is now, if it does anything similar to that, a very quick move, you need to already have your sell position set up right here so that it's automatically selling, and then you'll probably, as soon as you look at the charts, the price will be coming back down and you'll be able to buy back in. So yeah, be sure to set those sell orders. Man, it's important. That way you can either pick up some extra bags if the price comes back down, or at the very least you've locked in some of those really high profits. Oops, we're jumping ahead. Okay, let's go back to GNO and carry on. Very nice chart on this. It's adhering to this trend line here. That's what I love. Touched a couple times, touching it again, continuing up. So this one here, we need to push past that point, don't we? Really 0.0135 is what we need. 0.0135 equals a bull run. Anything above that, we're good. Alright, GNT, Golem Trading Network. Just going to blast this fan on here. It's getting a bit hot in here. Yes, good man. Get it done. Alrighty, so GNT, wow, already blasting up to these previous highs in December. Wow, cool, man. That's so cool. So really, with Golem Network Token, it's kind of, I mean, it's taken off beyond me getting in. I can't get in on that chart. I've got a very small amount of GNT that I'll just hold and hold and hold, but but yeah, I mean, it's too late for me to get in. If you're holding it, I would continue to hold it and try and look for that top formation, but it's really, really taken off now. Alrighty. Library credits. Yeah, but it's beyond that, man. It's like, it's not just because Korea's adding it to their exchanges. There must be something fundamental going on, because those exchange pumps, they happen. Like, there's a big spike. Usually it's a bit overexcited and the price comes back down, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it stays right up there. But it's continued to go up. If you look at the charts on GNT, it's spiked up big, come back down, spiked up big again. This is fundamental. This is not just a pump and dump or like a short-lived moment. This is like quick spikes. Sure, that's because people are panicking as the price is going up, but it's fundamental. It's staying up there, and it's even going higher than that. So. Look at that. I said it last week. Above 7,400 sats, and we've got a moonshot. And that's exactly what's happening now. Generally bullish until next week on that one. Let's move on. Sorry, I'm going a little bit slower, so I'll speed things up here. I gotta get a dimmer light here. It's just a little bit bright. So, library credits I seem to have a contrarian relationship with, but it does seem to be forming very similar patterns, and it's making its way up there. It really needs to break out above this 3,700. It's the same as the previous one. Same as previous week, rather. Lisk. I own a bit of Lisk. Just a cheeky touch. And 1, 2, 3 bottom here, chilling out for a while. It's come to touch that line, failed, and now it's broken through, so the price will probably just chill and then take off. It might not come back and touch the line entirely. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. It doesn't always come back. Sometimes it just takes a slight dip. Sometimes it doesn't stop at all. But definitely also looking bullish. 140. In fact, look here. I said last week, above 140k sats equals a bull run. Look what happened. It got above 140k sats and it went for a bull run. Litecoin now. Litecoin. It's broken the downward trend line in some ways. Really, if you extend that out to there, it's still underneath it, so really needs the push through. You can see that 1, 2, 3 bottom is forming though, can't you? So if you think that you've kind of missed out on these 1, 2, 3 bottoms, you really haven't missed out on all of them, because 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, the price is probably going to do something like this, creep up here, chill right around the 2, and then as it blasts through, take off. And I'll leave that line there so we can have a look at it next week. But that's what I think is going to happen with Litecoin. Look at yellow line. Just take a snapshot of that. Paste that in here. Just in case the line disappears for whatever reason, I can go back and look at that. Okay, let's have a look at NAV. Last week I said generally bullish until next week. I even put an asterisk next to it. I want to buy some. That was on the 27th of April. So that was right here. I don't know if I bought any. I don't actually remember. I'll have to check my holdings if I bought any, but I hope I did. 1, 2, 3, nice. Come set up, resting on this 2. Nice buy entry there. And now, of course, hopefully, we have a takeoff very similar to the other altcoins with this one. And if we can get Navcoin blasting off, we'll kind of see these 23, 26k sats levels. I don't think that's going to be any issue at all for Navcoin. Navcoin's a great coin, I think, fundamentally. And it's got a nice community behind it. So I think community is one of the big drivers of currencies in these early stages as well, of the longevity of them anyway. OMG. Big 1, 2, 3 bottom. Mini 1, 2, 3 bottom. And now, taking off. Chilling for a second, chilling, and now hopefully another big run up, another generally bullish until next week. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but the markets very much do seem like they're making the exact right formations. Things are piecing together very nicely. I may seem bullish, but there are people that are a lot more bullish than me, that are very smart people. See, this one here I just don't like the look of, just because of the huge... I mean, yes, it's going up, and, you know, if I'm feeling a little gambly or risky, I might buy a small amount that I'd be willing to lose. But, I mean, it very much looks like it's turning around, which is awesome. However, the formation is not as slow and gentle as a lot of the other coins. So given the other opportunities out there, it's just I wouldn't buy that one. But did say last week here above 4.7. Ah, fuck. Well, now I gotta buy some because it's doing exactly that. So here's two possible outcomes of the breakthrough above this line, right? One, doesn't break through at all. We'll call that one number 1. Number 2 is it breaks out and comes back down. That's that one. And 3 is that looks something like this. Break out, come to chill, and then take off. That's number 3 scenario. So hopefully we have a number 3 scenario in this circumstance. However, we don't know. Shit. I really didn't want to buy any more, but it looks like I gotta. Generally bullish until next week. It's going to be definitely an interesting week in cryptos, and I think a lot of the markets we're going to be seeing them take off. I know I've said this, broke a record on this, but very good for I see a coin we were having a look at just before when I was chatting with Alfie in the chat, but I mean, it really looks great. It's just looking terrific. This larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, which of course means that if the price kind of breaks out above this 450 sats, like this is exactly why you don't want to sell everything off, because there is a smaller chance that we have a move kind of that high up to these 900 sat levels. Now you might think, well, I'm going to risk it. I'm just going to just leave my whole bag sitting in Sia coin in hopes that I can sell it at that level. But it's just that's just dumb. All right, you want to be taking some profits along the way. You want to be taking some profits maybe around this area here, the 4 sats, 3. I think what I said before. I'm going to look it up exactly again, but then keep a handful of them and kind of sell up at these huge high levels that are just unheard of. These sort of levels, 816 sats, or maybe just 798. If crypto's going to change the world like many people think they are, then these prices will look flatline in a couple of years. It'll be fun to look back on these videos. Either way, even if the markets go to essentially nothing, it'll be fun to look at these videos and see, oh shit, how deluded was that guy. But if the markets do take off, it'll be fun to look back at these videos and say, wow, you could have fucking bought right at the top and just held, and you would still be doing very well. Steam now. Very much power to Steam, taking off as a social network and as the price of the currency. Blogging platform is just so great. It's great to use it. I enjoy it. And the prices of Steam don't look to be stopping, I should say. That one's generally bullish until next week. Lots of generally bullishes until next week. Calls on this week. I think you can pretty much throw a dart at the board and win with a lot of these currencies. But still, we do our analysis because sometimes you find extra special opportunities. Storage coin 1, 2, 3 bottom, broken up above. Finally, took a little while to get there, but now broken up above, and now, ooh, it looks like it's setting up. God damn! Look at that candle. So if that kind of closes there, we can assume a nice pointed direction to 15, or even more maybe. Oops, let's delete that. Just trying to think where this run will stop. Well, there's the 3 levels, right? About 15,700, 17,000, and 20,000 sats or so. Bullish until 15,720 sats. And that's what I'll put on my gravestone. Not really, I don't know why I said that. Wow, STR hasn't had a huge dip like a lot of altcoins, and I know that STR has a bit of a relationship with Ripple. Big buying candles. Look at these. So we have big spikes of buying, right, at these points here. Big spikes of buying still. So I don't think this market's ending anytime soon. And where it stops, I don't know with Stellar. Could be Moon. I said last week above 4,600 equals a bull run, and look what it's done. It's broken 4,600, and it's come back to rest and chill on it. So that either means that that's a fake out, breakout, and a dud, which I very much doubt. It's much more likely that Stellar Lumens will be taking back off, and be good to place sell orders at these previous points of resistance, which should be around about the 55. So that'll be another one for me to check out. I've got a few already. ARDA, BitShares, Clams, Game, Rep, and STR, Stellar Lumens. Strat now. Yeah, Alf, you're right, man. Yeah, it's like a lot of this is early days with respect to altcoins. We are in the stage of buying, you know, just like people were buying Bitcoin for $2, $3. That's where we are with altcoins, I think. Well, a lot of them anyway. Obviously, a lot of them are going to fail, and so that's why you want to have a bag of a lot, because the risk is there. If you have, buy a whole lot of altcoins, and you just hold them just forever and ever and ever, a few of them will be successful, and they'll be monstrously successful, that they will well and truly cover the other handful that failed. Let's say like 20 out of the 100 that you buy succeed to any number. There were a few of those will succeed, like huge, next level success, and that will well and truly cover any losses you sustained on the other 80. Strat. I'm in some strat. I'm looking for a place to sell, and it is definitely not now, as it's breaking out above this previous resistance point. So strat could be getting up to these levels. We'll probably encounter some resistance around 94, so that'll be my point to maybe sell a handful of them and hopefully buy back in a little lower. Bullish. Well, last week I said bullish till 76k sats. Went much higher than that, didn't it? That was here. I said that, and it spiked up, and spiked up yet again. Bullish to 94k, 100k sats. Alrighty, so we've got VTC, what is this, Vertcoin? A little stagnant, chilling for a long time, but it has got support at this 27k sats level, so still, it's not far off of that. I think it's a good opportunity to buy, and it does look like it's kind of setting up a little bit. Zooming in, just getting a bit more zoomed in on the technicals here. Let's have a look at this. Let's kind of do what's it. It's really kind of... It seems to be adhering to that trend line. And that trend line also. So what tends to happen, I think, with these sort of bullish pennants is they'll break out upwards. Or just to change the color up. Oh, God damn it. Or they'll do something like this, right? And then they'll fake out downwards and go up. Manipulation, I think. Scare people off that are looking for these sort of patterns, and they sell out, and then they come in and swoop up the cheap coins, and then the coin continues on its journey upwards. Vertcoin. I said last week, if it's above 29k sats equals a bull run, it's sitting on 29k 300, so maybe I was wrong about that, because it did get above that a couple of times, but I'm still generally bullish on that one until next week, and I think it's definitely got an opportunity to take off, given that pennant. Yes. Nice. Nice big run up. Chilling. Little bear trap there, and now comes the huge run up. 3 to 4 times this. You thought this move was big. It's going to triple. If it does triple, right? This is a bear trap, right? Bear trap. Same with here. See this little bear trap right here? Let's just zoom in on that. I just want to zoom in on this previous bear trap. Rise up. Oh no, it's over. It all sucks. The whole coin sucks. It's over. Counterparty sucks. Oh wait, maybe it doesn't. And that's when the real market begins. And look at that. So that's where we are with alts. Bear traps. And same thing here. Oh no, it sucks. No, it's not going well. Oh wait, maybe it is. So really, with that one, we want to, with counterparty, we want to wait until a break above 243k sats. 243k sats equals moon shot. is what I'll put in there. And the last couple of coins now. Monero, I'm not buying at the moment. There's a fork upcoming. I think it's coming up in about 6 hours or so. So I imagine the price will do something like that. Well, that's way too long. It'll be like that. It'll fall down a little bit. I'm hoping to swoop in and maybe pick up some coins around this area. So just like when we have popcorn sell orders set really high in the market, just in case there's a pump and dump, you know, I think it's wise if you're looking to hold a coin long term to potentially have some, almost the opposite of popcorn sell orders. You have, you know, I don't know, we need a good name for it, but essentially it's the opposite. It's where the candles dip down very rapidly. You've got preset buy orders, you snap all those coins up cheap, and then the price returns to normal. So I've got some of them set for Monero, and I hope to be picking up a few coins, hopefully around this area. But yeah, because it's forking, I'm not going to touch that one. I'll put a watch on that and put in brackets here because the fork that's coming up. XPM, bum bum bum. That took off. Look at that. I bought a decent amount of XPM right at this area. I was placing buy orders. I bought about 0.1 Bitcoin worth, which isn't heaps, right? It's decent. It's not heaps though. Why did I buy it? Well, look here. These pre-pump buying signals. This is there's a great video I mentioned earlier by Doug from Lumbridge City, digitalcurrencytraders.com. I interview him in a couple of other videos if you want to check them out. But he talks about these pre-pump buying patterns that you can look for without being in a pump and dump group, because you don't want to be in those sort of groups, because by the time they release any information to you, it's well and truly over. So I sold. So where did I sell? So I bought right here and I sold coins. Unfortunately for me, I know it wasn't well timed. I sold them at around, I think, 20 to 21k Satoshi. Just on the way down here. Sold it right here. Thought, oh, it's over. Probably shouldn't have done that. I should have kept a handful. I should have kept a handful. Alfie, keep some of your Sia coin. If you're selling some at the top, you want to sell these popcorn sell orders, you want to take profits. I doubled my money. I made 0.1 Bitcoin in like 12 hours, which is great. I bought a new chair. But I should have kept some, man, because look at it. It's quadrupled from where my entry point was. Damn. God damn. That one I'll be watching. No fork. XRP. XRP. Yep, very similar to the setup that we have with lumens, except lumens are a little bit higher in the formation. So I think I think it's a good buy. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. 55k worth? What are you talking about? Would have, well, a whole bit. Yeah, we're talking about Prime Coin, right? You're saying if I had a whole Bitcoin on it, would have been like times 4 or 5. I think that's what you're saying. And yeah, that would have been crazy. But you can't possibly pick the bottom and the top of every market. Like, one of the realizations I had early on Sia coins, yeah, nice. One of the realizations I had early on was that you have to remove from your brain the possibility of ever picking the bottom or the top. That might happen by chance every so often, but overall, it's going to be a process of trying to figure out close to the bottom or close to the top, and use these indicators to give you some indication of it. Excuse me. So yeah, see a coin, that'd be mad, dude. I'd be very happy if you made a successful trade based on any advice that I'm giving you, which is not advice, so don't listen to me. No, really it's not, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I do these journals for my own information, because it's important for me to look back. But please don't actually take any of this as like financial advice or anything. Zcash, last one. Oh yeah, by the way, I am bullish, generally bullish until next week on Ripple. I should have put that in there. Zcash, same situation, very similar formation, big bowl shape, 1, 2, 3 bottom, breaking above, and now chilling. But it's not one of the pioneer coins. You know, I was talking before about BitShares and Civic. They're kind of taking off early. A lot of these coins I think are going to follow in those footsteps, and it's a wise move to have an array of coins if you don't have the time to do in-depth analysis on each of them. And that's another one. Generally bullish until next week. I'm going to save that for viewing next week, and yeah, I'm going to just have a quick look before I wrap things up. If there's anyone that wants me to check out any other coins, not necessarily on this list here, but just on any other exchanges, Binance or KuCoin or any of the ones that I can access through Coinigy, let me know in the chat and I'll have a look at the coin. But while I'm waiting for that, I'll just have a quick look at MadeSafe. Which, oh, look at this. This is lovely. This is so good to look back on. Look. So here, back in, I think my 19th, I don't do MadeSafe every time, but because it's not on the list, but on the 19th, I drew up this channel here, thinking, oh, look how it's traveling nicely, and it'll probably encounter resistance up here. Dead wrong. See how it broke out of that channel downward? And now, it's just chilling sideways. Not saying I'm not bullish in the medium term on this one, but it's definitely not one of the pioneer coins, and I think I own some MadeSafe, and I'll be still holding that. I mean, it'd be silly to sell it at this point because there's no indication that it's going down, but it's definitely taking its sweet ass time to get up. And I think Doug would look at this, you know, my mentor in trading, and say, well, that's the one, that's really the 3 bottom, and really it's going to consolidate around this point and then kind of take off, right? He's a big advocate of MadeSafe, though. Alright, great. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button before you go. I would really appreciate it. Gets me up in the rankings a little bit, and maybe some new people can see these videos, which is always awesome to have a few more people watch them. And I'll leave it there. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave a comment. Alright, peace, guys.